07, that'll be Thad Royal. Thad Royal outside pole sitter in 07. Phil Dixon, your Texas Motor Speedway Southern Dirt Track Champion in the Roberts Motorsports Outlaw Chassis number 2R. Brendan Ball, driving the number 214R. As we're on demand on RaceOnTexas.com, every thrill and spill and every burn and turn on demand on Race on Texas, and then we roll down the boulevard into one on the opening circuit. Into the opening circuit, Matthew Whitehead of the 14 started inside of row number 3 as Bubba McKeecher got a nice start. They'll roll down the back straight on the opening circuit into 3. It'll be Vic Case with the race lead as he rolls through 3 and 4 for the first time of this 10-lap affair. They're 3 wide for 4th. 3 wide right in front of him. Thad Royal lost the handle, and a good evasive move. 27 evaded disaster. 27 to Rick Edgerton out of Arkansas. Out of Stamps, Arkansas. Avoided the disaster there. Was able to get on the binders and went to 3rd. Again, not going heads up. It'll be about how many cars you pass to get to where you finish. Finishing points at a premium here tonight. As off of turn number 4, it's all Vic Case all the time. Track a little bit treacherous right now from that top shelf. A couple of guys hanging it out a little high, wide, and handsome. They're getting loose off of exit. As Cody Myers in 55 will punch the time clock. He'll send himself to work. He brought his stamps. He sends it into turn number 3 and 55. Right in front of him, McKeecher lost side by just a little bit. Got a run to the 14-2 of Logan Griffin. So Brandon Ball, as a matter of fact, in the 14R car tonight that Logan Griffin was in. Oh, and him and McKeecher make contact. Brandon Ball looser than a goose. Don't get him started, folks. Look like a 3-legged dog on an icy lake here on the first couple of laps. Hustling off into turn number 1. As the 17 around, that's Ross Farmer. Ross Farmer around at the top of turns 3 and 4, and we'll get a caution early in this one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, appreciate it.
Need the light on?
No, it works better. So Vic Case, the second generation racer, the son to Scotty Case. As Vic Case will take the green and put his foot to the firewall. We're back on the way here at Ark-La-Tex. Case leads them off of 4. They head down the boulevard into turn number 1 on the restart. Next time by, it'll be 5 in and 5 laps to go. 50% yet to go. And this one, there's some comers and goers and movers and shakers. The 25's up to 3rd. And Gary Harvin's showing what he's made of. Gary Harvin in this one looking awfully impressive. At the factory stock 50, it was Scotty Case who came out and set the bar. He went from dead last to the lead in heat race number 2. Dakota Wyatt went from second to last place on the opening heat at the factory 50 here back in June, and they set the bar. They both sat on the front row. Tonight, Gary Harvin's from worst to 3rd. Gary Harvin receiving pressure into the company of the number 69 who's ready to party is Chris Rogers out of Nashville, Arkansas. Rogers out of Nashville, Arkansas on the 69. Rolls to the back deck lid of the number 25, and Myers goes over the top. Myers slips over the top, and he'll slide off the slope, and he'll bring out a caution, and it does appear. And we will not get refired. Myers is stopped. Nope. That's about all I can find of Calhoun. Calhoun, Louisiana racer again. It's Vic Case taking the green. We're back on the way. Can the fast one, Phil Dixon, mount a charge. Chris Rogers got snookered on the restart by Rick Edgerton in the number 27, the pair of Arkansas racers, as Harvin will fade back to 4th here. Contact back here for 6th. Down the back straightaway, Cody Myers disposed of 2 of them, but he's going to have to get up on the horse and put the whip to it. 3 wide there momentarily off of turn number 4. They rolled down the boulevard off of 4 into 1. Edgerton slipped over the groove and allowed 25 of Harvin to retake the 3rd position, is right now for the race lead. Here comes the fast one, Phil Dixon for the race lead. Phil Dixon knocking on the back door like a trick or two with a sweet tooth here on the month of Halloween. Rolling off of 4. Final trip into turns 1 and 2. Vic Case, a major bobble that time in the center of the corner of 1 and 2. He'll set his sights down the back straightaway in the 3 and 4 for the final time. And here comes the fast one, Phil Dixon. He won't be able to mount the charge that he was looking for. Your winner goes to Vic Case in C7. Good run for Phil Dixon to snag the bridesmaids honors. 25 of Gary Harvin will snag 3rd. The firewall on a beautiful dirt track Saturday night under a monsoon. 10 laps of distance in heat race number 2 of the night. Billy Davis along the outside of Malthop, Bourne and Jones in row 2. Williams and Blanchard in row 3 were underway. Underway, they hustle into turns 1 and 2 on the start. carnage down the front boulevard, and it looks like Josh Daugherty, one of them involved. That's to the inside of the third row. Keep your eyes on the 14R as well. Scored a second place here last month at Ark-La-Tex. The 911 of Bubba Jones going to lead him to the point to put his foot through the firewall and get us back on the way off of turn number 4. They'll head down the boulevard and get us back on the way, rolling into 1. Jones way up top where Grandpa keeps the best of Urbans. They roll off of 2, down the back straightaways. They head off into 3. Jones going to lead the way over the 125 of Lou Rawls, rolling the middle lanes, a swap and step to the outside off of turn number 4. Heat race number 3 presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, getting ready to take the green off of 4. We're back. Hey. Bubba Jones with the race lead. He rolls off of 4 with 3 advantage off of turn number 4 down the boulevard. He'll head off into 1. On the move comes Cameron Furr out of Gladewater, Texas, to the back bumper of the 91 for 3rd. He can't get the job done. He'll roll down to his inside again for 3rd. Door for the race for the 3rd down the boulevard. Bubba Jones out front minding his own business in this one in 911. Final turn, final time. Call the paramedics. 911 just took him to the woodshed. Bubba Jones destroys him in heat race number 3 of the night. Here in the Cajun Classic in 2015, it's Brandon Puryear in 88B. Thomas Woodruff in 2T out of Nashville. Robert Graham Jr. in 22. Racing Jason Ingles in the 5 car for Paul Lopez tonight. And Corey Stewart in 112, and we're underway. Hustling their way off into 1, getting the whole shots. The Conroe, Texas racer Dalton Faulkner. They're 3 wide back here for 4th. Down the back straight, they're still 3 wide, trying to go 4 wide. Sean Graham had to think better of it. He caught bumpers with the 12 of Perry. Oh boy. Bo Perry washes up the racetrack just ever so slightly, and here comes Graham back to the inside of him. The top 3 cars tightly contested here for the race lead. Here comes Hennigan taking a stab back to the 27 of Faulkner for the top spot. Dalton Faulkner out front minding his own business in this one, but getting breathed down his neck by the C100 of Winnigan, Chris Hennigan. So Winnigan, Chris Hennigan, everybody contesting the outside line of the racetrack right now. But nonetheless, if you have a good race car, you can make some moves, and you don't have to fake moves. As the 5 of Jason Ingles has showed it here early in this one. As he's rolled his way to 4th now from the final row, Jason Ingles in 5. Set quick time this year at the 10,000 win King of the Hill. And he has shown what he's made of right now. Here comes Jason Ingles. Jason Ingles finds the line down on the inside of the 41 for 3rd. Hello, Dylan Alasko. How are you doing? Alasko will sidestep the dive and throw him into the hip pocket. And he'll continue to hold on to 3rd, but for the time being, we'll see what the 5 elects to do. Ingles punches the time clock. He sends him back to work. Getting his hands dirty tonight, Jason Ingles out of Longview, Texas, the owner, fabricator of Ingles Racing Performance. Off of turn number 4, giving hell to the 41. That still appears to be the best battle on the racetrack at this juncture. Sean Graham, though, receiving pressure from the 22. So right now, Hennigan still trying to run down 27 of Faulkner. Dalton Faulkner out front with the race lead here at Ark-La-Tex. Heat race number 3 of the night, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. All the parts you need from the front to the back bumper and all parts in between that get you back on the racetrack and then get you back on the highway and get you to and fro your job on the weekday. As the 27 of Faulkner still leads with 3 laps to go this time by underneath the Kenny's Towing flag stand. Rolling off of 4 to the face full of checker flag. He was your leader. He's now your winner. The 27 of Dalton Faulkner wins in a commanding fashion over the C100 to win again Chris Hennigan. 41 of Alaska evades and repels the 5 of Lopez. Tonight it's still Neal Kemp in Club 20. Doug Vick Jr., the 2011 Cajun Classic winner in the 4-car, makes his factory stock debut for 2019 here tonight. Travis Big Bad Bowden in 04T. Jason Cook out of Grand Prairie, Texas, the Red River Modified Shootout winner. What a nice move for the 4 of Doug Vick Jr. The cross up, they'll go 3 wide for second down the back straightaway. As Neal Kemp trying to get back what he feels is his, he'll roll down to the inside of the 4. Vick Jr. He bobbled there, and Vick Jr.'s broke. Vick Jr. just lost something, broke something. And he and Passenger Stormy can only go along for the ride. Watch everybody go right by quick, fast, and in a hurry. Tough break for Doug Vick Jr. in this one. As it's Club 20 and Neal Kemp, who faded to 3rd early in this one. And he's back with the race lead off of turn number 4. Neal Kemp. Started calling him Steel Neal because he lived up to that moniker when he stole $5,000 right out of the hip pocket of Lee Carver over at Billy White's Timberline Speedway. And the 4th running of the factory stock 50 back in 2017. As he has the race lead, but he's got a bobble and a push there off the exit of 4, and he's opening up the door for the 504 exit of Grand Prairie. Here comes Jason Cook. Jason Cook feeling good about himself tonight. He'll roll in that Outlaw chassis. Best Engines 504X down the back straightaway with his crosshairs dialed to the back bumper of Club 20 for the race lead. 4 in, 6 laps to go this time by the 10-lap affair. Tiffany Welch has certainly stepped her game up here in 2019. She holds on to it pretty well here, sitting in the 3rd spot, repelling all comers in the 92. I don't know if that's... So Brandon Brown, the 2018 Texarkana 67 track champion, Brandon Brown, in the 92 car tonight, former Andrew Rossum-owned car. He sits in 4th as Tiffany Welch is getting away in 58. The race director down at Showtime Speedway on Friday nights cashes in the fun on Fridays to have a little bit of fun on Saturday nights. And I'll tell you what, she's grown by leaps and bounds as a racer here in 2019. She's stepped her game up. And is right now repelling a strong field and a hungry herd of hounds behind her. As 504X of Cook, as well as your race leader at Club 20 and Neal Kemp, have separated themselves from the rest of the field of competition. Your top 3 separated by the same distance right now as they roll through 3 this time. Though the 2 to go sign from flagman Gary Lipscomb at the Kenny's Towing flag stand. 2 more trips around the Ark-La-Tex Speedway in heat race number 4 of the night. So the white flag will come out. Track steward John Young electing that he sees somebody over there. We're not sure if we'll get the caution or not, but we very well may. We may just go ahead and bring her out and we'll get it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, just about getting ready to get the party restarted. It'll be a green-white checkered restart finish here with the Club 20 and Neal Kemp out of Kirby, Arkansas, the former factory stock 50 winner of $5,000. He'll try to get $2,500 tonight and win this heat race first. We're back underway, and Jason Cook got a little crowded. Look out, Tiffany Welch. Oh, Brandon Brown really came out of nowhere, though. A slobber knocker there on the restart. And Welch lost the front end that time, and here comes the 58 of Josh Ellender, or the 50, rather. And from the in-house to the outhouse goes the 58. She'll try to roll down to the inside as here comes flying Uncle Brian Mewborn. White flag is out, and Cook may have problems. Ellender giving him hell for second now, as Neal Kemp skating away out front with the race lead all by his lonesome. Final time down the back straight as they head off into 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be all Neal Kemp all the time off of turn number 4, receiving the checkered flag and a face full of it off of 4. Club 20 wins it. 504X of Jason Cook out of Fort Worth, or at Grand Prairie, will snag second. 2019, the limited mods at Boot Hill. He's in Jonathan Stewart's 29S car tonight. Derek Grigsby outside of 2, starting 4th. Michael Rawls in the Outlaw Chassis 32R. Billy Mazzell out of Frankston in the Tommy Mercer Motorsports number 100. Good to see the Frankston Texan Billy Mazzell behind the cockpit of a good race car tonight. Uh-oh. And that's not going to work, folks. Oh, boy. We got carnage into 1. Deserving of it, as Billy Mazzell again driving the 100 will start now 4th. Dustin Yaughton 007 and a new boss, and Jonathan Stewart's in the 20B car tonight. Where did Grigsby go? So Derek Grigsby was one of the cars who is a victim of circumstance there. And Dustin Yaughton, who was scheduled to start this race 7th, jumps out early in this one, and he is up to the race lead. A war being waged back here for 4th. They hustle off into turns 1 and 2 as jumping the cushion goes 007. First ever feature race win came right here at Ark-La-Tex for the Marty and Joe's Cruiser Cup in a beginner cruiser race in September of 2017. He rolls with the race lead off of 4, got his first career factory stock win at Texarkana this year back in the first weekend of August. It's all Dustin Yaughton to this point, driving the Dogtown Grooming Outlaw Chassis 007. That is the former 36J car that Justin Whitehead won quite a few races in to start off this 2019 season in. As he rolls in that Outlaw Chassis, Hobby Machine Shop Power 007 underneath the flag stand with the race lead over 32R of Michael Rawls. Rawls made his return to dirt track racing last weekend at 67, had a stellar performance going, but lost the handle late. Didn't get to his showing for the performance that he had on the racetrack. As the top 4 getting closer and closer within each other's bumpers as they roll off at turn number 4. On a cool, brisk night here in Vivian, Louisiana, right where Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas all meet under a full moon. It's Dustin Yaughton leading them in the 007's got the golden gun ready to fire. He sends it off into 1. Rawls continues to repel the advances of Billy Mazzell in the 100. The first time he's ever sat behind the cockpit of this outlaw race car. This machine driven by Lee Patton several times here in 2019 to several strong finishes and performances. At 66 of the Highlands, Texas racer Jacob Wilbur giving him hell. Wilbur out of Highlands, Texas, just outside of Houston, and he's got a run. Here comes Jacob Wilbur down the back straightaway trying to fit the gap. He can't get the job done. Everybody tighter than the top string on the Texas fiddle trying to tippy-toe around the outside of the Ark-La-Tex Speedway at this juncture. Final turn for the final time off of 4, pushes up the racetrack, but it will be enough for the win. The 007 of Dustin Yaughton scores the dub in 007. 6. Inside of 2, Michael Fagan in 13X. Outside of the Jeremy Laxton in 9J. 4th row to the inside, 5-time winner at Boot Hill a year ago. The 1996 Super Champion will be Ricky Ingles in 81. Thomas Holt in 33. Cody White in 22W. last chance winner at Boot Hill this year. Uh-oh. And that got all kinds of wild. That fella just went all the way from the roof down to the basement, back to the third floor, been back to the bottom. Looked like LeBron James throwing the lane. So, of course, 7-time Cajun Classic winner Justin Whitehead starting in this one from the tail, or just near the tail, back there with Colton Furr. As he'll work to the back bumper of 81 of Ricky Ingles. They hustle into turns 1 and 2. Jody Davison trying to mount a charge for the 14 to Lucky for the race lead. Into turn number 3. It's all Kelly Lucky out front minding his own business at this juncture. It'll be 4 in and 6 laps to go this time. Here comes Jody Davidson working to the inside of the Tyler Texan for the race lead. The Northwest Louisiana racer and the East Texan going at it for the top spot here in heat race number 6 tonight here at Ark-La-Tex. Off of 4. Davidson can't find the niche he's looking for. But one of the better performances of his factory stock racing career. The accomplished modified shoe. Debuting a brand new Express NG9 chassis tonight for Shane Hebert in the limited modified ranks. He'll be doing double duty but looking good tonight in the factory, trying to get $2,500 for his effort. Off of 4. The battle back here for 4 is a good one. It's Ingles and Whitehead and 36J, and around goes the 9 of Laxton as Smitherman has his hands full with Whitehead and Ingles. 2 of the heavyweights in the Ark-La-Tex going at it with one of the top shoe competitors out of Dallas-Fort Worth. Many wins at the Kennedale Speedway Park for the driver of the 96 of Trace Smitherman. Holding back, look out, oh my. Richard Holt, as we got a battle for the race lead again. You need 2 different sets of eyeballs right now because it's getting wild here tonight. The 90 of Davidson continues to punch the time clock and go to work. But Lockie continues to repel his advances in the 1. Kelly Lockie using that top shelf momentum to his advantage. He'll get back on the throttle and ease his way down the back straightaway, keeping the 90 at bay of Davidson. Jody Davidson yet to score a factory stock victory, but he is better and better every time he sits behind the wheel. Hustling off into 1 all over the back deck lid, breathing down the neck of Lockie for the race lead. Here comes Jody Davidson for the race lead. They're door-to-door for the top spot. 1.5 laps to go when they meet the midpoint of the back straightaway. Davidson working the wheel. He's working it well. Off of 4 to the white flag. This time by from Gary Lipscomb. Lockie separates himself. He felt the pressure. He says, I got to go and I got to go now. Davidson gets another run. He'll mount another charge for the final time. He's got to get the job done this time. Final trip off of turn number 4. It'll be all Kelly Lockie, your winner, Hollywood, and 14 scores the win in 14. A slide job for Whitehead on 96. 96 got him back. Racer Dylan Ramey, the son of Kevin Ramey. Outside will be Clint Shirtliff in the Hobby Shop Machine Power number 54X Jet Chassis. Mighty Mike Wells in the 38 car. Nick Hirschbach and the 106. Aaron Green, Mean Green, 3-time winner at 67 this year and 87. Robert Graham's at 33. Skeet Amerson, the 62-year-old racer out of New Boston in F5. A log jam off the exit of turn number 2. Trying to take advantage of the 7 of Evans. TJ Evans rolling the hub, rolling it well in 7. Your most recent factory stock victor here at Ark-La-Tex. Evans beat a field of a 63-strong field of cars here at the last event here, getting prepared for this Cajun Classic. And he's got to feel pretty confident, good about himself coming into this one tonight. He's got his work cut out for him, though. Finishing points and passing points at an ultra premium here tonight. You only got 1 round to get the job done. You either set yourself up for failure or set yourself up for success tonight. So it wasn't so good for the Ashdown racer Michael Shirtliff earlier. This Shirtliff looking much better. It's Clint this time, out front with the race lead in 54X, minding his own business out front with the lead. As everybody's still vying for that top shelf of the racetrack, that seems to be the quick line around the speed plant tonight here in Vivian. The top shelf momentum just continues to roll with the most momentum and advantage right now as 33 going to resurface and he'll look to bring out a caution. Clint Shirtliff out of Nashville, Arkansas, going to lead us to the green flag. Falk, Arkansas, rather. We're back underway. Riding the front straightaway wall like Shaun White on a snowboard is Nick Hirschbach. Here comes Mean Green, Aaron Green. Aaron Green airing it out in 87. And 7 about to tap the wall. He is able to corral it. Mike Wells fits the gap. He walks right through the threshold. He likes it. He loves it. He wants some more of it. Mike Wells walks right through the threshold. You couldn't have fit the Holy Spirit between that gap, but he washed up the racetrack and opens up the door. He fades back to the 7th spot. So Wells gives back what he took. Playing Indian giver here inside of the top 6. Clint Shirtliff certainly driving a pretty phenomenal race here in the 54X. He'd like to have a good run on his behalf here to give him some confidence going into the night's 8 qualifier. One of the 5 qualifiers that will come up to find out which will make your 22-car starting field for the 15th edition of the Cajun Classic, paying $2,500 to win, $300 to start on no entry fee tonight, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. The 7 of TJ Evans washed from the bottom side of the racetrack up to the middle lane and make contact with Skeet Amundsen in the F5. Sponsored IRP number 20, it's Brent Tidwell out of Harleton, Texas in 20. Dylan Adams making his limited mod debut tonight in the X car. Mike Parker in the 15 of the Borderline Septic entry. Lights are out, we're underway. And P Daddy Paul Leedy out of Jonesboro, Louisiana, the 90. The 24 of Bailey Turner. As they're at it down the back straightaway in the 3, it's all Jason Ingles jumping out front early with the race lead in this one. Look out, 210 of Hatter. So Brent Tidwell scored his second career win last Friday night at Timberline Speedway. And Brent Tidwell has certainly just turned up the wick in his racing career. He's pushing the progression. He gets better and better every time he sits behind the wheel. It'd be something if he is able to run down his chassis builder, Jason Ingles, and run him down and dispose of him. But it's one thing to get there. It's one thing to dispose of Jason Ingles. As Ingles out front minding his own business. Jason Ingles, a former $3,000 winner here at this racetrack in the Tootsie Smith Memorial. Has had some stellar runs here at this speedway over the years. Former Armadillo Nationals winner, Tootsie Smith Memorial winner, Louisiana State Dirt Track champion. What has he not accomplished? The son of the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer Doug Ingles. Down the back straightaway with the 20 of Brent Tidwell, hanging out up top. The 15 of Mike Parker coming on strong here at the midway of this one with this 8-lap affair, 4 and in. 3 laps to go this time. As all Jason Ingles in 12. The 15 of Mike Parker had Justin Whitehead behind the cockpit of that number 15 Borderline Septic entry. Of course, that is Whitehead's former car as they roll off a 2 down the back straightaway. The 210 of Chase Hatton trying to get out of harm's way down the back straightaway. The white flag is coming out from Gary Lipscomb. Tidwell could not mount a charge on his chassis guru and builder, Jason Ingles. Jason Ingles trying to hold on here. Brent Tidwell looking to breathe down his neck. He got a good time to restart, but he pushed a little bit with the front end. Paul Leedy on the move. Paul Leedy from the final row working and trying to grab inside of the top 4. He sits 5th and 90, but here comes Bailey Turner. They're side by side for 3rd down the back straightaway in the turn number 3. The 15 of Mike Parker to the inside of the 4 of Roland for 3rd. Down the straightaway into turn number 1. Hustling into turns 1 and 2. Brent Tidwell trying to drive it in deep. He sold it cheap. Washed up off of exit. And oh boy, up in heavy smoke goes the 90 of Paul Leedy. The Jonesboro, Louisiana native Paul Leedy up in heavy smoke As the 12 of Jason Ingles scores the victory in 12. So heat race number 2 finds Casey Penn on the pole. It's his birthday. He says, I want to park it in Victory Lane. And Ricky Ingles to the outside of the front row. Phil Dixon, the fast one in A1. Jeremy Laxton, Jody Davidson, Kyle Ingles, Derek Greasy, Bubba Jones. And we're about to find out who's got the baddest hot rod of the bunch, because right now Ricky Ingles is storming to the outside of the racetrack. He smashes the loud pedal to the firewall, down the back stretch in the 3. Casey Penn came from 16th to 4th here at the third to last event and lost the handle late after showing a lot of strength. Rolling his way into 1. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3, the number 81 of Ricky Ingles. Ricky Ingles out front, minding his own business in this one in the East Texas Hauling and Rigging TSK Designs number 81 off of turn number 4. 3 times the winner at the Greenwood, Louisiana Oval at Boot Hill this season. Finally scored a factory stock win, 4 wins, leads the heap of victories for any driver and any competitor at Boot Hill this year. The 5 of Casey Penn called a shot. He said, I'm going to make it to BFCU.org Victory Lane tonight. He has certainly got to get up and go. The 64 tonight starts inside of 4, starts 7th outside Jason Beasley, the General Giant in 16. Randy Nolan in the 23 with Micah Wade.
that'll work.
Doug Vick Jr. getting away again on this restart. The battle back here for third, though, as B.J. Cook went from inside of the top three, sits fifth now on the 27. He'll try to get back to work and get back inside of the podium as they roll off of four, this time to the white flag from Gary Lipscomb. Randy Nolan, contestant of the Port City Performance, number 23, looking pretty good. His first time racing here at Ark-La-Tex in quite some time, as Chase Hatton comes up one spot short in this one, and Lazy 8-year winner Doug Vick Jr. in 4V. The white flag is out. Sounds like Todd Clark at the start of Champion Park. All right, we're underway into one. Your most recent winner here in the four-cylinder division, Josh Scott out of Nashville or Murfreesboro, pulling to the back of the 777 of Justin Converse, the all-time winningest four-cylinder driver in the history of this division since it was added around the Ark-La-Tex in 2015. It's Converse trying to run down and hunt down the 15-year-old of Connor Mewborn from Texarkana. Blanchard Row is that way, right? I don't know. We'll see what they do in 1 and 2. But Josh Scott, he sent it. He's got 2 first names, folks, so you know he's got game. Here he comes. Josh Scott. Oh, with a slide job, and Connor Muber don't like it too much. How about a shot in the shorts? The 15-year-old youngster is saying, you know what? I'll return the favor. The sophomore at Hooks High School. Man, this is getting wild out here. This is messier than a scene from Animal House, folks. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Oh, my goodness. As Josh Scott ruffled a couple of feathers the last time out here at the racetrack. And you got to think that the youngster, the 15-year-old of Connor Mewborn, the winner last Saturday at 67, is a little hot underneath the collar. And he is trying to hunt him down right now for the race lead. It's all Josh Scott right now with about a 4-car length advantage, but it is getting quickly evaporated here. On the last lap, we'll see what happens. Boy, Connor Mewborn would love to get in there and return the favor, but I don't think he's going to get the clearance or the time that he's looking for. And he'll stay committed to the outside of the racetrack. He says, I'll hold on to what we got. The feature event should be fun later on tonight. Josh Scott will win the race, though. 3S wins it with an aggressive move. But, hey, you get them how you can get them. Front-wheel drive race, baby. Let's go. So Chris Franks is going to be on the pole here of heat number 2 with Brantley Jackson of the B51, Connor Cook in 22. Connor Cook, the 0, Steve McEachern, and the 0, or Trevor Keith in the 9. It's all Chris Franks, Black Cat, out front, minding his own business in this one. Chris Franks will promote and put a big 1,000-win four-cylinder race on at Texarkana 67 Speedway coming up October the 26th. That's a pretty good chunk of change for those drivers. I believe he said it was like 70 to start. Not too bad at all. So October the 26th at Texarkana. 1,000 win for the 4 cylinders in the Spooky 30, courtesy of the man leading this race, Chris Franks. So Dustin Yance driving the Outlaw chassis at Whitehead, scored quite a few wins at the start of the year. The 007 will take the green with Harvin to the outside. We're underway off of 4. Bellevue, Texas starts 6th in this one to the inside of the 4th row, the 7 of Ricky Sessions. Robert Graham Jr. in the 22 car to the inside of the next row, the 92 of Brandon Brown, Christopher Stanberry in 3P. And lights are out, we're on the way. Only the top 5 go to the dance. The rest, we'll see you later. Bubba Jones jumps out to the early race lead. Right now, you can throw a blanket over the top 8 cars on the racetrack. Contact there with the 22 of Graham and the 3P of Stanberry. They'll hustle their way into turns 1 and 2 and set their sights down the back straightaway. Hustling into turns 1 and 2 on lap number 3 of this 15-lap affair. Setting their way down the back straightaway. Bubba Jones would love to get his first ever Cajun Classic. He's made the main event 4 out of 6 tries here at the racetrack as he comes off of 4 with a race lead. Caution will come out here with 4 laps scored to this 5th champion down at the Showtime Speedway. And the saddle of this 911 car built out of Abilene, Texas by Josh McGay off of 4. He'll take the green with the race lead. Down the front straightaway, they head off into 1 on the restart. Jones going to lead them. And around goes Furr. He nearly lost the handle. He corrals it. A good wheel being held there by the 14R for the Gladewater, Texas youngster. The 19-year-old of Cameron Furr receives pressure now with the 92 of Brandon Brown. The reigning Texarkana track champion going to step to the outside of him and try to sidestep him and throw into his hip pocket, and he will. Brown driving the 92 car, that former car that finished 2nd here with Scotty Hulshapek behind the wheel in the 2015 edition of the Cajun Classic. Brandon Brown behind the cockpit of it tonight. He runs his way up to 5th in 92. Trying to now work on Ingles up in front. The 7 in of Dylan Ramey using lessons learned from his father, Kevin Ramey, tonight. Dylan Ramey sits in the 3rd spot. 1 spot ahead of Cleveland. Josh Ellender in the 50 sits a respectable 2nd. But it's all Bubba Jones all the time tonight at Ark-La-Tex. Jones out front marching to the beat of his own drum and minding his own business. Bubba said this is one of the best race cars that he's driven. He's driven many good chassis in the factory stock range. He spent 3 full whole years in an outlaw race car for Justin Whitehead and drove the first ever express chassis that Shane Aber built for several seasons as well. Again, this car was built by Josh McGay originally out of Abilene, Texas, an open wheel modified ace. And Denny Gabar drove it on several occasions, and now Bubba Jones finds his way in the cockpit. Jones said this is one of the best race cars he's ever driven. He said the craftsmanship on this race car and the intricacies of it are stellar and top-notch, and he is right now holding on to the race lead by a sizable margin as he heads off into 3. Tick-tock, the race clock goes, with Ellender sitting in 2nd. Ramey receiving pressure from the 81 of Ingles. The 5th and final transfer spot is up for bids. Here comes Furr. There's a couple of drivers' tree that I wouldn't want to bark up when I have to come down to get in a transfer spot, and right now they're door-to-door for it down the back straightaway. Brandon Brown in 92, trying to repel the advances of the 14R. Racing with a heavy heart tonight is the youngster Cameron Ferretta Gladewater. Make contact that time with the reigning Texarkana track champion Brandon Brown. Brandon Brown making the 92 car wider than a quadruple wide trailer at this juncture. There'll be 5 laps to go this next time by underneath the flag stand. Cameron Furr about to receive pressure now to the back tail tank himself from the 12. Yeah, the 12M of Chris McKnight. Had to get a good look at it. McKnight in the 12M. And Brandon Brown just slid up out of the groove. Taking advantage is the 14R. Cameron Furr will now go to the 5th and final transfer spot. Brandon Brown has his hands full now. Oh my. Last Saturday night at Texarkana, Brandon Brown was your race leader early in the main event at 67 and faded there at the midpoint of the race. He broke a left front tie rod. And similar set of circumstances tonight, just fading here when it matters the most. Luck was not a virtue a season ago for the Hooks Texas racer. Final time, or getting ready to receive the white flag for the final trip around This quarter-mile speed plant located right here in Vivian, Louisiana, where Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas all meet. It's Bubba Jones out of Provençal, Louisiana. He gone. G-O-N-E, Bubba Jones is minding his own business out front. He'll get ready to see the checkered flag coming out this time. First, showing what he's made of late, trying to get one more spot. So very valuable for the starting spot in the main event. Checkers are out. Jones wins it. Ellender will grab second, Ramey third, 81 of Ingles fourth, and fifth and final spot goes to Cameron Furr. Lou Lyles, first name, L-E-W, Lou Lyles, about to take the green of the 125. A contact with his outside post under the 32R of Rawls. Bubba McEachern starts way at the tail in this one to keep your eyes on the 0 car. And 7-time Cajun Classic winner Justin Whitehead. Oh boy, Michael Rawls got out of the groove. The 41 is going to be the victim of circumstance. Over the top of the hill he goes. The flying Hawaiian lived up to his moniker, and he went flying over the top of the hump in turn 2, and the caution's out. We'll get a reacting stack start. Chassis. Lights are out. We're underway. Uh-oh. Lou Lyles going to have the race lead as they rocket off the exit of turn number 2 and set their sights down the back straightaway. Whitehead trying to fit the gap down to the bottom of the racetrack at 36J. It's interesting. Oftentimes when everyone else can't seem to get their car working around the hub, 36J can get it working. Will he be able to do it again tonight? Or will 36J not make the main event for the first time in his racing career? It'd be hard to think that. But down the back straightaway, he'll get to the in and outs from the 41 to the 66. Oh, down the back straightaway, Alaska turns Whitehead. Around goes 36J. And he never stopped. And he gets out of that. Is the reigning 3 times straight Cajun Classic winner, 7 times winner of this event in the 14 years it's been contested, Justin Whitehead. And 36J, he's on the bubble right now. And the 9-car Laxton hit the wall very, very hard. Come on, man, throw the call. Lou Lyles out of West Monroe, Louisiana, going to lead Jason Ingles and Michael Rawls. Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas, 1, 2, and 3 right now. We're about to find out with Whitehead and Cook. Oh, look at McEachern jumping the start. Maybe. Did he or did he not? I don't know. So Whitehead gets the better of Cook on this restart. Whitehead will now go to work and punch the time clock and pull the 32R to him now. Highlands, Texas, or the 66 of Jacob Wilbur doing work with the 504X. Here comes 36J now. Whitehead on the wick off of 4. Wilbur makes contact with the 504 of Cook. Lou Lyles still with the race lead, but here comes Jason Ingles. Jason Ingles, the best race of the night. And the 3 wide for the race lead in the 1 and 2. Whitehead's got it working around the hub. Look out, Lou Lyles. Oh, my goodness, you couldn't have slid the Holy Spirit right there. Down the back straightaway, 36J now going to work. He says, ha-ha, y'all thought you had me. Goodness gracious. This dude is an assassin behind the wheel. As Lou Lyles, for how long will he hold on? Because Whitehead's working the bottom of the racetrack and working it well. He'll throw the slide job in the 1 and 2. He'll wash up to the top shelf of the racetrack. The 125 says, thank you, sir. May I have another? Whitehead says, well, we'll stay to the top shelf of the racetrack this time. We'll drive it off deep. We'll sell it cheap in the turns 3 and 4. On the wick, off at turn number 4, Whitehead's going to take the race lead. Time and time again, he proves us it'd be silly to doubt the young man out of Hooks, Texas, as he scored his 285th career win last Friday night at the age of 29 years old. He is a madman, Your Honor, a desperate fool in the endless, pitiful ropes. Whitehead leads at Ark-La-Tex. At some point in time, you just got to give the man his credit. Holy smokes. And the Classic Auto Repair 34 Junior, Boot Hills 2019 champion. Outside will be Mighty Mike Wills, the two-time track champ at Texarkana. Freddie Blanchard in B7 with Brandon Ball, the Farmerville Freight Train in the 14R, Bear Malthop. And the lights are out. We're underway and ready to play for 15 more. They'll roll their way into 1 and 2. And we got a couple of them stopped on the front stretch. As it'll be Dalton Faulkner out of Conroe, Texas to the green, 15 laps to distance, top 5 to the main event. We're underway off of 4. Underway into 1, getting cattywampus Blanchard up out of the groove. That is what seems to happen, unfortunately, for him. 45 trying to fit his way back through the mix now. He start and Blanchard in the 45. Rogers to the inside, making a little bit of slight kiss of contact as they roll off of 4. Oh boy! Kevin Ramey making a little bit of contact with the 13X. They still make contact in the 1. Here comes Blanchard in the 45 as they hit their sights down the back straightaway. Richard Blanchard up on the throttle, on the wick in the 3, trying to dispose of the 13X and relegating back to 5th now. Here comes Cowboy Blanchard in 45. Faking over the top of turns 1 and 2, opens up the door for Blanchard to go back to the 5th and final transfer spot. Dalton Faulkner's all the way gone with this one. He's got a straightaway advantage out in front of the 7 of Vic Case. They hustle down the back straightaway in the 3. Chris Rogers trying to take advantage, get one more spot, and pick up one more row in the show tonight. All the top 5 looking to go to the big dance. Cowboy Blanchard sitting in the 5th and final transfer spot. They roll off of 4 down the boulevard back into 1. Rogers giving the C7 of Vic Case hell for 2nd. Hell bent for 2nd. 69 cannot get the job done and walk through the threshold. He'll continue to knock on his back door off of turn number 4. They roll down the boulevard this time. Chris Rogers will continue to work on the back motor of the C7 for the second spot. He cannot still get the job done. The hustle off of 4. Down the boulevard into turn number 1. And the green-yellow is out in the caution flag. Trying to throw this one into the Ark-La-Tex Speedway history books. Your 4th A qualifier of the afternoon. One more to go yet. Vic Case bobbles that time as Rogers has given him absolute hell for second the entirety of this race. He'll try to get it for the final time. This time coming to the checkers. Don't wipe each other out. Look out, Blanchard. Oh, Richard Blanchard may have just cost himself. Oh, and he'll get turned right in front. Oh, my goodness. And like a ping pong ball, Kevin Ramey looks like he grabbed the 5th and final transfer spot. Race number 5, the A qualifiers. It'll be Clint Shirtliff on the pole in the 54X jet chassis with Neal Kemp to the outside, Brian Mewborn. Billy Mazzell in row 2. They're 3 wide on the start for the race lead. Oh, contact with Mewborn in the 54X, so Shirtliff. And trying to take advantage goes the 100 of Billy Mazzell. The 2-time Boot Hill Speedway champion from 2011 and 12 down the back straightaway. Got one around at the bottom of turns 1 and 2. No harm, no foul, but Thad Royal may want a caution. And he will pull out and elect to get one. But we may just tell him we'll see in all parts in between on your daily vehicles. And for all the different components on these race cars, you can check them out at RaleigHautoParts.com. Oh my goodness, that was wild. I don't know what's going on, folks, but the one to keep your eyes on is the Marshall Missile. Derek Grigsby back there, and Jonathan Stewart's number 29 working to the inside of the 55 of Myers. Will try to slide up here off of exit at turn number 2, outside of the top 5 by a couple of spots here. As the 5th and final transferee right now is the teammate for Derek Grigsby of Jonathan Stewart, who sits 5th. 1 spot ahead of the 87 of Aaron Green, 6th. 7th is the 93 of Sean Graham. Sean Graham in the 93 tonight for Cundiff. Down the back straight over Myers. Everybody tight rope, top string, hustling, rolling like yo-yos with no string around the top shelf of the racetrack. Everybody from the top inside of the top 6 now separated by the same distance on the racetrack as they hustle their way into turn number 3. 4 in, 11 to go, or 5 in, 10 to go this time by underneath the Kenny's Towing flag stand for the Club 20 of Neal Kemp. Still Neal. Is that a stellar performance to this juncture of the racing program tonight? Shirtliff got a little bit of company on the start of this one, bounced around with some contact there with the 100, Billy Mazzell, and the 36 of Brian Mewborn, but he's able to hold on with the pretty wheel here and sitting second comfortably in the 54X. Of Neal Kemp, after his win last Saturday at Texarkana, rolls in here tonight with some confidence and some momentum. He has the race lead in Cup 20. Good restart for Billy Mazzell. Oh my goodness gracious. Aaron Green just got railroaded. Corp rolled through him like a locomotive. Since opening night this year back in March at Boot Hill Speedway, it was a big win for Neal. He was driving that 46 car that we've seen with the pink numbers earlier tonight for Austin Waters. He's back in his familiar Club 20 car tonight, and it's looking good for him. Off of 4. We are back underway. Look at this. Jonathan Stewart about drove the 36 of Brian Mewburn back to Texarkana. And look. Jonathan Stewart has his crosshairs dialed to the back deck or the back trunk lid of the 36. That's the destination. Here comes the Marshall missile. Derek Grigsby rolling down the back straightaway. The 2019 Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner has rolled from outside of the top 10 inside of the top 5. Now Jonathan Stewart will have to run through his teammate car to get to Mewburn. I'm not saying that was the case, but it certainly looked pretty aggressive on these restarts. And around goes Stewart. Around goes Jonathan Stewart. And we'll set up a donut. Freshman in college this year, speaking of Colby Mewburn. We're going to find out what happens. Derek Grigsby certainly marching close. And oh boy, they're 3 wide on the start. Look at Cody Myers. Cody Myers just fit the gap and he's about to get... Oh my goodness. This is getting wild, folks. The 55M of Cody Myers literally just came out of nowhere. He'll get 2 for the price of 1, the Walmart special. Derek Grigsby all over the back deck lid of the 100 of Billy Mazzell now. The cream rising to the top. Slamming the door shut. Right in front of his face goes Mazzell. We got one hard on the front straightaway wall. It's Thad Royal. They race just as hard for a corn dog as they do for 10,000 win. It don't matter what kind of moon there is. But hey, we'll blame it on the moon. Oh, we'll blame it on Mewburn. How about it? Let's go. Moonborn. In the one we're on the restart, and it's getting wild right now. They're 4 wide there momentarily. Oh my goodness. It is messy out here right now, folks. The 54X of Shirtliff just tried to wreck Derek Grigsby, and he ain't going to stop trying until he gets the job done, it appears. Goodness gracious almighty. Derek Grigsby's got problems in the 29 car. Maybe he has a flat tire. He's trying to hold on to it, and Shirtless in hot pursuit trying to ruin those chances. And in turn number 3, Shirtless says, okay, I got to settle down. I'll just get this spot right back. They rode through 3 and off of 4. One slipped over the top of 3 and 4. This thing is getting messy. It's been past messy. Who else wants a seat at the table? Tick-tock the righty over at Timberline for the final turn of the final time. He thought Lee Carver was headed to victory lane, but Neal Kemp had other plans and jacked $5,000 right out of his hip pocket. Green is back out. We're underway. Can we hold on with no more carnage? Tracy Corp now in the 5th and final transfer spot. Brandon Puryear, former 3rd place finisher in the main event for the Cajun Classic the year that Adam Roy won this race in 2015 in the turn number 3. Puryear, 1 spot out looking in with the white flag out. Will he make a bold move? Smoke coming out from Mazzell. Can he hold on? Mazzell sitting in 3rd, showing heavy smoke, or was showing some heavy smoke there. Trying to let that Mercer Motorsports number 100 Outlaw chassis home and get to the big dance tonight. Final turn, final time. Puryear's got to make a bold move now. To the checkers, Neal Kemp wins it over Cody Myers. The 100 of Billy Mazzell. Shirtliff will go to the main event. Your limited modified main event, ladies and gentlemen, ready to take the green. And it's going to be racing Jason Ingles from the pole tonight. The 15th edition of the Cajun Classic limited modified portion of the event is underway off of 4. And so something must have happened to Ricky Ingles, because that'll put Casey Penn, the birthday boy, on the outside pole, and the track is slick and treacherous. They'll hustle their way into turn number 3 on the opening lap. Brent Tidwell, the 2019 track champion of Boot Hill, going to roll the hub and roll it well. Down to the inside of the 5-star, Ingles leads lap number 1. Jason Ingles leads lap 1 tonight here at the Boot Hill Speedway. He'll roll off of 2 down the back straightaway as Penn fights tooth and nail with the 20 of Tidwell for 2nd. And Penn just slipped over the top shelf of the racetrack now on the back straightaway. Lost the position of the 20. He'll go to 2nd now. Tidwell in the Ark-La-Tex operating AMS by Kittler, power number 20. After his win last Friday night at Timberline Speedway down the road in Corley, Texas. His first ever win there in Corley. He'll roll in here trying to pick up another consecutive victory. As the 12, the man who built his race car, out front with the race lead is Jason Ingles. The fast one, Phil Dixon now. As Jason Ingles just nearly jumped the cushion, Brent Tidwell is going to be the shark. He'll smell blood in the water. They'll set their sights into turn number 3. Here comes Brent Tidwell. Brent Tidwell rolling well. He'll roll off a 4 into 1 with his crosshairs dialed to the back deck lid of the 12 of Ingles. Jason Ingles, former Armadillo Nationals winner, Tootsie Smith Memorial winner, Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner, over 150 career wins for the driver out front at Longview, Texas. Down the front straightaway. Ingles, will he approach lap traffic? Will he stay caution free? They'll continue to roll into 1. Tidwell not gaining by feet or foot. The exit Dylan Adams gets bottled up with the 11. No harm, no foul. They'll stay clean and green. As Ingles now fastly approaching lap traffic. The first victim to be a lap down to be a victim of circumstance will be the ex of Dylan Adams. Adams making his limited modified debut tonight. It'll be 6 laps scored, or 7 scored this time. 13 laps remaining here at Ark-La-Tex Speedway in your first main event of the night here at the 15th Annual Cajun Cruiser Classic. As Brent Tidwell now being breathed down his neck by the 5-star stunner of Casey Penn. Casey Penn's got that Express NG9 stuck right now down the back straightaway. He'll dispose of the 20 and relegate him to 3rd. So Tidwell will fade back to 3rd now as the A1 of the fast one, Phil Dixon, who won the Southern Dirt Track Championship at Texas Motor Speedway, is going to have to sit on the front row tonight of the factory stock main event and try to get 2 consecutive big paying crown jewel factory stock wins. As this is impressive for what Phil Dixon's able to do here in Vivian tonight. A racetrack that he is very seldomly competed at throughout his racing career, and he'll slide up in front of the nose of the 20. He'll take 2nd, or 3rd rather. The A1 will roll to 3rd of the best auto parts entry into 1. Tidwell will slam it back to his inside. The battle back here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is a good one as they continue to wage war and race their way through lap traffic. Ingles running scared out front in 12. Jason Ingles running away out front. The 5-star has plans for victory lane tonight. Oh, and Casey Penn just nearly lost the handle. He got finished off. Had nowhere to go in the A1 of Phil Dixon, finished him off and gave him a shot in the show. One more time with Casey Penn tacked to the tail of the field here with the 12 of Jason Ingles taking the green flag. We are back underway here at Ark-La-Tex. We'll see who's got the baddest hot rod of the bunch as they'll hustle their way into 1 and 2. The fast one, Phil Dixon. Here comes the Marshall missile. He'll screen to the outside of the 15. They'll go 3 wide. Here comes Bubba Jones in 21. And around goes 1 to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Hard to tell from my vantage point who that may be, but the caution flag will wave. And Bubba will lead them to the green with 9 laps remaining. 11 laps scored here at Ark-La-Tex in your first main event tonight here for the 15th Annual Cajun Classic. Brent Tidwell may pull a rabbit out of the hat. We'll see what happens. Oh, boy, Phil Dixon. Phil Dixon racing them hard tonight. He drove it in deep. He sold it cheap there. On the exit of turn number 2, he'll put his A1 car to the inside of the 20 of Tidwell for 2nd. Tidwell will look to repel him off of 4 using that high side momentum to his advantage. It will work. But about a half of a nose that time at the line. Brent Tidwell fending off the A1. Not for long. Down the back straightaway, Phil Dixon now can set his crosshairs of the back spoiler of the 12 of Jason Ingles for the race lead. Dixon hopes to be doing this in a few moments in the factory stock main event. And will try to back it up and win another one after he won the Texas Motor Speedway Southern Dirt Track Championship. First time he ever sat behind the wheel of a factory stock, he went to victory lane over 121 cars. Very impressive. As off of 4, Phil Dixon. Phil Dixon raced the entire UMP Summer Nationals Hell Tour up a year ago up in Illinois and Ohio. And racing with his good friend Kenny Wallace. If he's able to get up here to Ark-La-Tex tonight and run down Jason Ingles, it's one thing to get there. It's one thing to dispose of him. As Jason Ingles hitting his mark each and every turn. But Phil Dixon in hot pursuit. Tick-tock, the race clock goes. He's only got 3 more trips the next time by underneath the flag stand to get the job done. Stand of the hourglass ticking away for the A1 of the best auto parts, Crosby, Texas racer Phil Dixon. The fast one off of turn number 4, Brent Tidwell now trying to get something as the Marshall Missiles rose his way to 4th and 6-9. Bailey Turner with a solid run night. The Leary Texan is up to 5th and 24. Good run for Ben Leedy sitting outside of the top 5 and 6, and Casey Penn trying to make a resurgence here late. 2 laps to go for Jason Ingles. I just got to put this back. The white flag is out for Jason Ingles. Final trip in turns 1 and 2. He'll set his sights. He'll also try to pick up $2,500 for his efforts tonight in the factory. Has a good starting spot. Off of 4. Racing Jason Ingles wins another one here at Ark-La-Tex tonight. A1 of Phil Dixon will come home second. The IRP number 20 of Brent Tidwell third. Fourth goes to the Marshall Missile, and 24B of Bailey Turner, your top 5. He checked out on him in this one, although Phil Dixon looked pretty quick there in the late going. Just not enough to muster up enough momentum to get around Jason Ingles tonight here in Vivian. Y'all know what to do, race fans, here in just a moment when he gets ready to climb out of the car. Getting the head neckers of the number 12. Give him a hand, race fans, climbing out. Racing Jason Ingles. Jason, come over here and have a word with me. You can meet me halfway. Man, Hot Rod was really good tonight. Never really challenged in that one, but you never can be too sure out front with the race lead.
Yeah, you don't ever know. I kept feeling like maybe the top might be coming in, but after Gene graded the track, it seemed like we had a pretty good grip on the bottom. Anything
you can learn about the track? Obviously, a little bit of farming there. Anything you can learn and put to the test in the factory stock tonight? Car was really good.
Car was good, but I think Gene done a good job. I think it'll widen the track out for the factory stock, so you should see some good racing.
Anything less than $2,500 for you in the factory night, would it be a disappointment, or what are your expectations?
You're always out here to win, but just thankful to be able to race with them. There's a lot of good guys out there, so we're going to give it 100% and do my best.
Season's about to wrap up. Anything big on the docket? Any big plans to close out the year?
We're going to Amarillo next weekend. They got a big 10,000 win race next week, so we're going to be out there trying to see if we can make East Texas proud.
Let's hear about all the great supporters on this number 12 car.
Mac Tools, Robbie Bradley, Shipley Motorsports, putting my engines, taking care of me on the engines, good power. East Texas Plating, Mr. Plummer. I know I'm not good at this. I always forget some of my IRP race cars, and JCT Auto Sales.
Best of luck in the factory stock main event tonight.
Thank you, Zach.
Jason Ingles, your limited modified winner tonight.
One more thing. We made Bubba Jones a Cowboys fan tonight.
How's that?
Because Chris Hannigan and Heather keep betting him that he's going to win, so he didn't win. All I had to do was keep him behind me.
Jeez. And Jill Shannon's over there smiling too, I'm sure.
He's a Cowboys fan for life now.
Oh, he's going to have to get the tattoo of Josh Scott. Black Cat Chris Franks on the outside front row. Connor Mewborn. Remember what happened to the heat race earlier, folks. Is he out for blood in this one? Black Cat got a much better start. Look out. It's awfully slippery out there. Here comes Black Cat Chris Franks. He's bringing the number 36 along with him up to the top shelf of the racetrack off of 4. Mewborn has a run. Using lessons learned from his father, keeping the momentum wound up underneath. He had to cross up the racetrack that time. It allows the 0 Steve McEachern to go to 3rd. Stevie McEachern, long-time veteran racer, many-time hot stock champion of the former Webster Speedway, rolls down to the bottom, pushes with the front end, but enough to corral it and keep him out front of the 36 to 3rd. A matter of time before the 777 of Justin Converse will throw his hat into the ring and officially become a player in this one. He's working the bottom. Gene Border. Again, these cars typically do race pretty well, no matter the track conditions. But I believe Gene's got us something cooking tonight. So right now, the battle for second's a good one. Steve McEachern putting the pressure on the number 18. He said on Thursday night, Black Cat told Gene and I earlier today, he hit 81 at the end of the straightaway. That's pretty quick. These little cars are actually getting around the racetrack pretty quickly. And he'll swiftly cross up in front of the nose of the 0 McEachern. Black Cat does. Continues to hold on a second. It's all Murfreesboro, Arkansas racer Josh Scott out front minding his own business. So Black Cat Chris Frank still up top shelf of the racetrack, waging war. If this was the battle for the race lead right now, it'd certainly be a little bit more exciting. Nonetheless, these guys still putting on a show, holding on and racing for second. Slide him in front, taking his line away, Stevie McEachern. And now the 18 will cross down to the bottom side of the racetrack and try to change lines with him. All about keeping these cars as straight as possible. Is that what it is, Toby? So we're watching this race for a second right now. You see McEachern, he's starting to get away from Black Cat. I mean, of course, Josh Scott's long gone out front. He'll try to get around lap traffic here. How much is it that you've learned this year to try to keep your car as straight as possible, to kind of keep the momentum wound up? Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, you got to learn it. It's kind of hard.
It's hard. Keep them underneath you. Has it helped you out any having that racing tire on the right front?
Yes, it absolutely does.
Absolutely. Like I told you a few moments ago, it's been fun watching your progression, young man. How much longer do you plan on sticking with the four-cylinder division? Just until you pick some wins and feel confident?
Until my factory stocks gets done, and then race that until, if something happens to the factory stock, have a backup car or something race next weekend.
So you've already got a factory stock in the works?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Can't wait. As we'll get a word here with Toby Davis, top 5 points runner this year at the Boot Hill Speedway in Greenwood, Louisiana, the driver of the number 21D, 5th in points out of Rodessa, Louisiana. Good kid. And pretty good race car driver in the works. As Josh Scott trying to get around lap traffic, he'll get by unscathed. As just working down to the final few laps that matter the most, as McEachern may have a hot rod. He's trying to run him down, but he's going to run out of time. White flag is out for Josh Scott from Murfreesboro, Arkansas. Down there around Nashville. He'll set his sights down the back straightaway for the final time. He's about to get railroaded by the 31 car. Wow. Lap traffic trying to race the leader hard here late. And good news is Josh Scott's gone with the win. So at Murfreesboro, Arkansas, scoring the four-cylinder victory tonight. Going to be the driver of the 3S of Josh Scott. Set himself up for Barksdale Federal Credit Union victory lane after his heat race triumph earlier over Connor Mewborn. I believe that kind of propelled him to victory tonight, having clean track up in front of the nose of the 3S. Ooh. I didn't see him flip. I apologize.
I think they're both fine. They both got it.
So we apparently had one flip. Appreciate that, Josh Bill. Can't catch it all sometimes, but certainly hope that. Nonetheless, folks, give a hand to Josh Scott as we're tending to do the misfortune error on the backstretch. But Josh certainly deserves the applause. Well, Josh, this is 2 in a row for you here at Ark-La-Tex Speedway. This thing's pretty quick. I mean, I don't know if it's just that much faster, but you're certainly keeping the momentum line up underneath you tonight.
Yeah, this 5-speed car, man, it's if you get the right tires on them, man, they're hard to beat. And we was fast, and I don't know how close they were to behind me, but Odie about sent me back to Arkansas right here.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, whoa, Odie's not cutting you any slack there. I mean, you had no idea that you had a pretty advantage there, but I'm sure you're running scared of the record.
I figured if you look at the back of my car, I figured they were pretty close. So, but I was giving it all I had, and I was going to drive it till the wheels fell off.
After that battle with Connor Mewborn in the heat race, I mean, that had to have been in the back of your mind that he had to have been coming, putting pressure on at some point as well.
Yeah, after the race, Brian wasn't too happy about it, but we talked about it. He said, anybody would did that, and you don't really see slide jobs in these cars much, so I figured I'd try it out a couple times, and man, it worked out. and it didn't. So,
You drove about all the way back to Atlanta, Texas.
man, yeah, I about just got drove to Arkansas, and they about drove them to Texas. So,
Hey, it was fun, man. It was a great show. Let's hear about the folks who help you out in this thing.
oh man, Thomas Woodruff, my wife Brandy, my dad, my little brother, my daughter. It's her car. She just lets me drive it. Everybody, man. Lord Woodruff, L&W Scrap Metals. He's my uncle, and he sponsors me a lot, and just a little bit of everybody, man. The good Lord.
Back to back for you, and Cajun Classic victory's got to be pretty cool for you.
Yeah, this is my second time hearing this thing. We won them both, and man, we had a blast.
Congratulations to you, man. That's what it's all about, having fun. Congratulations tonight, Josh.
Thank you, man.
Josh out of Murfreesboro, Arkansas, scores your... Gary Harvin out of Texarkana, the 25. The 50 is Josh Ellender out of Cleveland, Texas. Racing Jason Ingles in 5. Chris Rogers in 69. Jason Cook from Grand Prairie in 504X. The lights are out for 50 laps, and this is the factory stock AMA event for the 15th running of the Cajun Classic is underway as they hustle into turns 1 and 2. Rolling into 1. Phil Dixon. Whitehead jumps out front with the race lead early in this one. Whitehead, the seas parted for him on the opening circuit. Rolls right to the inside of the number 27 of Faulkner. He goes to the race lead. So Whitehead 36J going to lead the herd off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, being ran down by the fast one, Phil Dixon. Phil Dixon going to have to live up to that moniker tonight. And here comes Phil Dixon to the inside for the race lead. Phil Dixon trying to back it up in his second ever factory stock start tonight and get bat 100 or 1,000%. 2 for 2 for Dixon. Or trying to make it 2 for 2. Boy, he is on the edge of disaster, driving the car just as he did over in Fort Worth. Down the boulevard. Here comes Phil Dixon for the race lead. And the caution is out. Look, folks, very well documented the success of a driver out front with this race lead right now, but you can't take any credit away from him. He's 3 laps scored to the history books, 47 to go. Can he do it again tonight here in Vivian, Louisiana to get his 8th unprecedented Cajun Classic title? RaceOnTexas.com 2018 Driver of the Year. Won every big Crown Jewel factory stock race there was to win a year ago. He just bobbled off the exit of 2, opened up the door for the 2 of Phil Dixon. Dixon could not get the job done that time. Now Bubba Jones will throw his hat in the ring and officially become a player. As come on, fellas. We got problems in turns 1 and 2. And around goes... He's reporting. Off before we're back underway with the 7-time Cajun Classic champion. Justin Whitehead with the lead. Bubba Jones got a little snooker there on the restart, but he sits third where he was on the restart. And Whitehead just dropped up out of the groove. Wow. An uncharacteristic mistake. Whitehead up out of the groove that time. And here comes Phil Dixon to the inside for the race lead. Phil Dixon filling it tonight. No pun intended. Whitehead sliding up off of exit. And Phil Dixon going to take the top spot in 2R. Filling it tonight is Phil Dixon. In the 1. Trying to bat 1,000% and go 2 for 2 in his first ever factory stock starts. Down the back straightaway of the Fort Worth. Won the big one at Fort Worth for $2,500 for the JC Promotions Southern Dirt Track Championship. And right now he is showing up and showing out here in Vivian, Louisiana. It's seldom Whitehead broke something on the race car. Maybe he did not. Or he'll elect to stay to the outside of the racetrack, but very seldom we've seen him slide backwards, much less on a Saturday night. Oh, and around goes. Oh, and we got a hard flip by Chris Rogers at turn 3. Oh, my God. Get out of there, Chris. Get out of there, Chris. Come on, Chris. And he's out, folks. He's climbing out. Get out of there, Chris. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Chris Rogers, folks, up in a violent crash in turn number 3. So, folks, trying for the upset tonight, the 2R of Phil Dixon. And his second career factory stock start, the well-accomplished and very well-respected racer out of Crosby, Texas, puts his foot through the firewall and gets us back underway here in Vivian, Louisiana tonight. And Whitehead fired well on the restart. Here comes 36J. He washes up the racetrack again. Here comes Bubba Jones for the race lead. And it's a pair of Texans trying to repel the Louisiana native in their turn number 3. Here comes Bubba Jones, working to the inside of 36J for second. Lost side bite there off of exit. 3 wide for second down the front. Straight away they head off into 1. Here comes who? First name Vic, last name Case, making a stab and taking a case for it. Here comes Vic Case for the race lead. Oh my, the Walmart special, 2 for the price of 1. And the turn number 3, Vic Case rolling it well to the inside of the fast one, Phil Dixon. And Whitehead just lost traction and side bite right in front of 911 of Bubba Jones. It's heating up at Ark-La-Tex in the 15th running of the Cajun Classic early. We still got 42 laps remaining. 8 laps are scored, and Justin Whitehead's up top where Grandpa keeps the best of bourbons. Trying to keep the momentum wound up. You have to think there's something just not right with the car. He's broke traction several times. Just looks out of sorts, if you will. But you got to give credit when credit's due. Phil Dixon and Bubba Jones, along with Vic Case, are driving a flawless race to this juncture of the event. As Bubba Jones going to put one to the inside of 36J. The 36J uses that outside line momentum to his advantage. He'll beat him to turn number 3 by about a half of a nose. He pushes again off of exit in 36J. Bubba Jones still giving him all he's worth. Jones takes third that time at the line. Half a car length that time at the line as the 2R now going to punch the time clock and go back to work. He brought his stamps. Phil Dixon did. He'll send it into turn number 3. But I'll tell you what, Vic Case. I mean, you want to talk about a Cinderella story. So back in June, Vic's father, Scotty Case, set the bar, came out here and passed more cars in his heat race performance than any other car, and sat on the front row for the main event. He led the first. Bubba Jones been giving him HE-double-L for it, as 27 of Dalton Faulkner, the 125 of Lou Lyles, Chris Hennigan. You never can count on any of these cats. We're back underway. A good old show me what you got Saturday night special here in Vivian, Louisiana, trying to brew a Donnybrook special tonight. Down the back straightaway, Gene Border. There's a method to the madness. Never question the man, as the track is certainly good right now. Off of turn number 4, down the boulevard. It's all Vic Case. Getting ready to receive company. Whitehead pushes off the racetrack. There's nothing wrong with the 36J car. It appears that it was, but there's not. He's just running that slick stuff. It's a little bit slicker there. He looks like a 3-legged dog on an icy lake at times. He's repelled the 2 and disposed of him and goes back to second. Whitehead is cooking it up top. He went higher than Willie Nelson on a cross-country tour that last time through 1 and 2. And here comes 36J. So off of 2, down the back straightaway. Here comes Justin Whitehead, the Hooks Texan, trying to get career win 286 on his career tonight. Won this event for the first time ever at the age of 14 years old in 2005. 2006, he came back again and won at the age of 16 years old, as he'll go door-to-door, a Ford and a Chevy down the back straightaway. The DuPont, or the shocks underneath the C7 digging for that, and that forward power underneath the blue oval, right around the hub of the Ark-La-Tex Speedway. The Chevy going to retake the race lead with Whitehead. He's a madman, Your Honor. And C7 a case serves him papers. Whitehead says we'll see you in court. Down the back straightaway, Whitehead tippy-toeing around the outmost part of the Ark-La-Tex Speedway, using every inch of this racetrack to his advantage, keeping the momentum wound up underneath the hood. And here comes Vic Case again. He'll take the race lead. And we got a good one brewing tonight. Playing Indian Giver for the race lead here for the top spot at Ark-La-Tex tonight. What more do you want, race fans? When it came down to it, when you need the track on the money, it is on the money. Gene Border has once again prepared a beautiful racetrack here in Vivian, Louisiana. And what people rant and rave around this racetrack throughout the country. I'm just going to be quiet and let my watch it for a second. And up in smoke goes the 14 of Kelly Lockey. Hollywood up in heavy smoke. And there's fluid on the entrance to turn number 3. And it's a good thing to... It'll make you scratch your head as good as this driver is. And he always passes tech, folks. He does it cleanly. And he makes every single one of these drivers drive their very best. And we're back underway. As we're back at it down the back straightaway. Vic Case relegates, disposes of the 2R. Phil Dixon, he crosses lines. He goes back to the top shelf of the racetrack. Will Whitehead turn up the wick and leave the rest of the field into his dust? But here comes Hennigan. Chris Hennigan oftentimes has waited a little bit too long to come on strong in these races. But you know what? He's one of the all-time winningest drivers in the history of this racetrack. And Hennigan is up to 4th. 4 times he's came home the bridesmaid to 36J in these big money races. Will tonight be the night for Tommy Mercer and Southern Roofing to put that outlaw race car in victory lane here at his home racetrack? The Marshall Texan Chris Hennigan now punch the time clock and go to work on the back bumper of 2R. Phil Dixon for third. Hennigan searching. He's bringing the Club 20 and Neal Kemp along with him. The former factory stock 50 winner comes along until he sits fifth, and here comes Hennigan rolling the bottom of the racetrack now. He will smash the throttle. He and Dixon waged a war over at Texas Motor Speedway Southern Dirt Track Championship. These two finish in the top 3, as here comes now Neal Kemp. Kemp working to the inside of Chris Hennigan. The versatile Chris Hennigan. And kind of uncharacteristic tonight for Dalton Faulkner to go backwards from his initial starting spot. He is right now battling with the 125 outside of the top 6 and 7th. Ooh, Vic Case just tried to slam the door shut right in front of the nose of the C100 of Hennigan. He slammed that door shut, and watch Hennigan return the favor off the exit of 2. Gives him just enough room. Down the back straightaway, Case will fit the gap, and Hennigan throws a slide job through turns 3 and 4. A nice move by Chris Hennigan. A slide job for Hennigan. Loses a little bit of side bite and some of that momentum, as Case will look to return the favor. You're waging war with a heavyweight. Down the back straightaway, Hennigan will get the advantage. As Whitehead singing a song up front in 36J, they get too hard to racing. It's going to be tough to mount a charge, but there's still 25 laps to go. One half of the event into the history books, the other half remains. And Phil Dixon sits second behind 36J C100. Here comes Chris Hennigan. Chris Hennigan wants a win very badly for Tommy Mercer. He is tired of finishing second. Chris Hennigan's coming. He's chipping away at it. Not yards, not feet, but he's chipping away at the inches right now. If he can dispose of the 2R Phil Dixon, this is the same problem that he had at Texas. He ended up coming home third in the factory stock main event at Texas Motor Speedway. He battled far too long with second place competitor over there, was not able to get to the 2R Phil Dixon. After the first half of that race, he and the 2R of Dixon did battle pretty toughly throughout the first half of that race. As he's bringing Neal Kemp again along with him. We got one coming maybe to a stop at the exit of turn number 2, as Whitehead is setting sail up top shelf of the racetrack. It'll be 20 laps to go. We're down to a regular dirt track Saturday night main event now. 20 laps to go in your 15th running of the Cajun Classic, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Who's going to make it to Barksdale Federal Credit Union victory lane? Justin Whitehead may just very well make Ark-La-Tex Speedway his financial partner for life. He's looking to take another $2,500 out of this joint again this weekend. Everybody back to the top shelf of the racetrack right now. It'll be 18 laps to go this time by. Whitehead up top with about a 7-car length advantage over the fast one, Phil Dixon out of Crosby, Texas. The Marshall Texan win again. Chris Hennigan driving the Southern Roofing Outlaw race car. PTS powered number C100 sits third, holding back the advance of the Club 20 of Neal Kemp. Bubba Jones has faded a little bit, but nonetheless a solid performance, sitting in 5th respectively in the 911. Vic Case, after a strong early showing, sits 6th, receives pressure from the 125 of Lyles and the 27 of Faulkner off of 4. Teammate to Hennigan this weekend, Billy Mazzell with a respectable run, sitting inside of the top 10, with Shirtlift now rounding out the top 10 at 54X. Everybody tippy-toeing, again, around the top shelf of the racetrack. I'd love to have transponder times right now, or lap times, to see what the interval could be, but passing the eyeball test right now is Hennigan and Dixon running 2 distinct different lines on the racetrack. I thought for a matter of moments they may have been chipping in for the race lead, but the looks are deceiving. 12 laps separates 36J and pay dirt tonight. This time by it'll be 12 laps remaining. Lap traffic doesn't appear to be heavy enough to really impede the progress of 36J. And they will need a caution, I believe, if they want to mount a charge. If Rawls holds him up just ever so slightly, they may be able to get there with enough distance to maybe throw a slide job and a Hail Mary. But they're working down to it. Tick-tock, the race clock goes, folks, as the center of the hourglass just ticking away. Whitehead cannot get around Rawls. He'll cross up the racetrack off of two with a little bit of slight kiss of contact. Some right side romance for 36J. Boy, and he is happy to get through that one unscathed. As Chris Hennigan, if this was the battle for the lead right here, boy, we'd be going at it. 3 different lanes wide right now. Gene Border has hit the racetrack, set up again. 36J just the class of the field to this juncture. Remember, 2 years ago at Boot Hill. 2 years ago at Boot Hill with 10,000 on the line. Whitehead on lap 42 of that event with 8 laps to go. Could not last the duration of it, and Derek Griggsy went to victor lane. Not very many times does 36J have a mechanical failure or a setback, and it's either that to take place tonight to put one of these other drivers in the catbird seat. Here comes still Neal Kemp. What an absolute war being waged here for second. If you don't like what you're seeing right now, folks, you don't like dirt track racing. If Whitehead was at home, the battle... Kidding, Justin. Off of turn number 4 of the Club 20, and Neal Kemp working it. To the inside of the 2R, Phil Dixon. Phil Dixon needs to get himself a factory stock, or he may just have that Roberts racing ride full time now. Working down to it. There's 6 laps to go. For driver 36J in the Thompson Motorsports RaceOnTexas.com, Sains Ford, A&T Delivery, Foam Pro, CD Electric, Borderline Septic Systems, number 36J. Down the back straightaway, though, the battle and the whole eyes still on second. You never know what can happen. It is not over until the checkered flag waves. As Josh Ellender, the victim, to go a lap down here, but the battle still for second, as all eyes on that second place battle. The Club 20 of Neal Kemp giving hell to Phil Dixon. Hennigan licking his chops. The 50 of Ellender shows respect to Whitehead, and he gets by. 3 laps to go. This next time by, it'll be 3 trips around the quarter mile here in Vivian. At a racetrack that no driver has dominated in the United States of America and stock car racing outside of Mike Nichols in the IMCA ranks up in Iowa. No driver has been more dominant than Justin Whitehead has. And again, folks, he's putting a statement on it again tonight. At one point of this race, it appeared that they had something for him tonight. But when the going gets tough and it matters the most, it's like a switch that's flipped. And the driver out of Hooks, Texas, has once again turned the wick up and taken his competition to the woodshed again, folks. And that is no disrespect to any of these guys, but he has done it again. For the 8th time unprecedented in his racing career and his 286th career win tonight, the Hooks Texan Justin Whitehead wins again at Ark-La-Tex Speedway. For me to say, you may not be a fan, but this guy always passes tech. He's never failed tech in the 7 times he's ever won this race. And there's something to be said about somebody that wins all the time that does it the right way. And it may seem like I give him a lot of credit. Hey, you got to give credit when credit's due. This is his 286th win tonight, folks. He's 29 years old. I'm telling you, if someone would have gave him a phone call, if he so desired, this guy should be in NASCAR if he desired to. I'm telling you, he is that talented, and it's a blessing we can watch him race. Give him a hand race at Justin Whitehead back in Barksdale Federal Credit Union, victory lane. And I think the hardest earned Cajun Classic victory of your racing career, Justin, your 286th career win tonight. And man, if you didn't have to get up on the wheel and earn that one, the car didn't seem, I guess to your liking early in the going, but man, you guys were waging war out there.
Man, I felt like I got passed by 6 cars. I guess that was Scotty Case's boy, man. He was really fast. The track changed. I had Brandon Ball over on the back straightaway telling me to get to the bottom, but I had a really, really good feeling that top was going to blow off, and I was hoping somebody would get back here with me and help me blow it off, and I was actually right. So thank you for that.
Was that the game plan to just stay committed? Because when everybody else was kind of running the bottom to the middle, it seemed like you stayed committed there, and your car was sliding. I mean, you couldn't turn it really. It looked like it had a pretty nice, nasty push in it.
I was absolute trash on the bottom. I would just had to get passed by every car out here, but we fired really, really well and got the lead. I was like, heck yeah, and then they come by. But track was awesome. I appreciate Gene for grading it, and he gave us a really nice show tonight.
Man, I think this race is so special to you. Obviously, you've won it 8 times, unprecedented. But every year when this race comes around, this is one you look forward to. Whether it pays $2,500 to win, I think it's more about the prestige for you. The competition's always going to be tough. But what is about this particular race? You won the King of the Hill, but the Cajun Classic I know is special. You won it when you were 14, 15 years old. Well documented. But man, it's something about this race every year that gets your blood flowing.
Man, it's we just work really hard during the year. Obviously, we swapped cars. We worked really hard. Andrew worked really hard all weekend. We came Thursday and made 1,000,000 laps, and it helped us big time tonight because this is what we hot lapped on. So I can't thank everybody enough. Thompson Motorsports, C&D Mechanical, Superior Graphics, W&M Timber, Borden Lane Septic, Attaway Towing, Race on Texas, Sames Ford, A&T Delivery, Pro One Transmission, my wife Sarah, my daughter Kayla, she's been out for 3 hours. Electrical Wizard, Ben and Andrew, like I said, of course, and Brandon for all his help.
Just being a one-day show, I mean, it doesn't take away any of the prestige to it. I mean, just $2,500 less, but it doesn't make it any less difficult to get this win. I mean, it's tough to get these wins out here.
That one heat race format puts it all in a weird deal, but the way she ran it with the 5 different qualifiers worked out really nice.
What's next for you? You got the IMC modified in the works. What's next for Justin Whitehead?
Yeah, that's where we'll be the rest of the year. His car's actually getting picked up Monday by Walter Hamilton, so it's gone.
Oh, Heisenberg. He's getting a good race car, man. Congratulations to you, man. You're flawless in this race car. Got to give credit when credit's due, man. Congratulations on another victory tonight.
Thank you.
Justin Whitehead scores another victory. His 286th of his career tonight. Here on the pole tonight. The Lazy 8 will start on his back bumper. Ronnie Hildebrandt. Chase Hatton jumping out front early in this. Backing away on the restart, and we got Ronnie Hildebrandt having a hot rod tonight, working to the inside of the Lazy 8. He tapped the wall nearly. Didn't do it, though. How long will we stay green in this? Will we have a long green flag run? Could we go caution-free? real quick. So we got 5 laps scored of this 20-lap affair, and it's going to be Doug Vick Jr. leading us back to the green flag in 4V. Lazy 8 of the Mad Hatter, Chase Hatton, Ronnie Hildebrandt in hot pursuit. We'll see what happens as Jason Beasley got a little bit of a company there and a little bit of contact on the restart. The hustle and away. Here comes the Mad Hatter on the Lazy 8 of Chase Hatton. 19 times the feature race winner. They went 4 wide there off the exit of 2. Hildebrandt got the best of that battle and shot out of it. As Chase Hatton trying to mount a charge on the 4V of Doug Vick Jr. for the race lead. Here comes Lazy 8 now, working. Doug Vick Jr. trying to hold on here, hoping for no more cautions as he set sail out front in this one so far. Battle for second's a good one here as we continue on. On demand on Race on Texas, the final race of the night. And a caution field pro mod main event as BJ Cook has looked good in the 27 car. As Humphreys rose the second in the 515. Big Vic Jr. all out front by his lonesome. One and a half laps to go when Doug Vick Jr. meets the midpoint of the back straightaway. Oh. So white flag is out for Dougie V. As down the back straightaway in the turn number 3 on a night 8 years ago, he won the Cajun Classic in the factory stock. Tonight he'll be your Pro Mod Cajun Cruiser Classic 15th edition winner in the Pro Mods. For all the diehards, climbing out of the car, give it up for the 5-time champion here in Vivian, Doug Vick Jr., the former Cajun Classic winner. Back in Cajun Classic Victor Lane. So the final Victory Lane celebration of the night. And Doug Vick Jr. has been the man with the plan with checkered flags in his hand. Get out of this one, Doug. Final race of the night. Hey, a lot of cars we ran through tonight, and here I think we're getting out of here pretty decent hour, but this whole Pro Mod was really good tonight. Hatton gave you some pressure early, several different comers, but a couple cautions too. I'm sure you're able to settle down and realize what marks you needed to hit out here tonight.
Yeah, I hate to see him have trouble, but it made me feel a whole lot better knowing he wasn't right there.
Anytime you were really getting a rhythm, though, it seemed that the caution would come out. How much does that kind of take the wind out of yourselves when you're really hitting your marks out here?
Oh, it's aggravating, especially on nights like tonight. I couldn't control it off of 4 on the restarts. After we got going, I was fine, but the restarts were tough.
I know I've asked you maybe several times, but how much do you touch this thing during the week? I mean, this car, it doesn't seem, this thing seems as good as it ever is. I mean, it has, I'm sure you tinker on it a little bit, but it's always as good as it seems to be the last time you're in it.
Yeah, we just go over the bolts on it. I think today all we did was charge the battery.
How much do you enjoy this class? I mean, obviously, I seen you. Hey, I've talked to you about factory stock and Victory Lane, how many times you brought one out tonight. But I guess we can talk about that in a second, how that went for you tonight. But this car really just seems to suit you, man.
Oh, this car's awesome. I got to thank Big Show for building it. He built it from the ground up. There's nothing on here store-bought.
That's pretty cool. What about the factory stock tonight? I mean, you got to get that thing back underneath you?
Man, it felt like it was going to be pretty fast, and it twisted the water pump off. I've never had one break a water pump.
I was interested to know because, I mean, you got to jump out to a pretty good start there, and it just faded on you and had to pull it back to the pits. That's frustrating. And you worked, as hard as you did to get that car out here, and then it just like that.
Yeah, we had 3 solid days in that when we didn't go to work for 3 days. Just worked on that, and then I don't think we made a lap.
Anybody in addition you want to thank for helping you get out here tonight?
I thank my dad, Stormy, and Bob, and Big Show. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
Always fun to win here, Vivian. You won the Cajun Classic in 2011, but if you can't get the factory stock in Victory Lane, you got the Pro Mod here tonight in Cajun Classic Victory Lane.
Oh, yeah, it's always fun.
Congratulations to you, Doug.
Thank you.
Vivian, Louisiana racer Doug Vick Jr., the 5-time champion. Here's another one here as he stands at Barksdale Federal Credit Union Victory Lane.